Cut the 1mm brass wire from stage 93 into 6 pieces, each about 13mm long, then use the same technique described in stage 95 to fit them to all 3 sets of topmast shrouds, level with the bottom of the octagonal collar around the topmast. Tie a length of 0.25mm black thread around the foremast above the octagonal collar. Both ends should hang down port side of the mast, ending about 15mm below the staves. Start by taking the forward thread and feed it through the hole in the end of the front cross tree. Then feed the end between the first and second shroud. Tie it to the first shroud just below the stave with the 2 half hitches. Repeat for the other shroud, feeding the thread through the middle cross tree and between the third and fourth shrouds. Tie the thread off to the third shroud with 2 half hitches, then repeat steps 2 to 6 on the starboard side. Tie a single length of 0.25mm thread above the octagonal collar so that it hangs down about 50mm below the cutter pin. Feed it through the arced cross tree and between the 5th and 6th shrouds. Tie it off to the 6th shroud with 2 half hitches. Repeat this on the starboard side. Cut out the pattern for the port fore topmast ratlines, leaving a border. Hold it behind the shrouds with paper clips, aligning the dotted line at the bottom with the centre of the deadeyes, and trim the top to fit under the cross trees. Don't try to force the shrouds to align with the black lines, as you are only concerned with spacing the ratlines. Thread a sharp needle with some 0.25mm natural thread. Push the point through the middle of each shroud. following the red lines. The lowest ones will be quite stiff as the dead-eye bindings are sealed with diluted glue. Support the rigging when you pull the needle to avoid stretching the shrouds. Repeat the process to complete all the ratlines. You may need to even up the ratlines and shrouds until the shrouds and ratlines are all straight. Remove the pattern, then paint the outer shrouds and ends of the ratlines with diluted glue. When it is dry, trim the ends of the ratlines close to the shrouds. Cut out and clip the lower ratlines pattern in place. Note that for some of the upper and lower ratlines do not extend all the way through to the outer shrouds. Complete the lower mast ratlines, seal and trim the ends. Bind a double block to the end of the 0.5mm black thread, then add a 250mm tail using 0.25mm natural thread. Using a 30mm rigging jig made from brass wire, hold the block in place against the forward block on the chainwheel. Tension the thread and tie it to the top of the fore topmast above the shrouds. Now remove the rigging jig and secure the blocks with the tail. Tie off the lashing at the lower block. Repeat steps A on the other side of your model. Tie a plain length of 0.25mm black thread to the very top of the foremast. Trim the lower end to length so that it hangs about 40mm below the chainwhale. When the Victory was rigged for the Battle of Trafalgar, her royal backstay was not fitted with a block and tackle, so you can remove the rearmost double block on the chainwhale and tie the stay to the eye. Repeat step C on the other side of the model. Using 0.5mm black thread, tie a length to the top of the fore topmast with a reef knot, leaving two lengths that hang down about 30mm below the chainwhales. Repeat for the other side of the model. Tie another length of 0.5mm black thread to the top of the fore topmast, leaving similar lengths of thread hanging each down the side. Bind 4mm blocks to the stays using the method described in stage 92. Secure them to the forward three 4mm dead eyes on the chainwhale with 0.25mm natural thread using the method shown in stage 95. Do not seal the lashings yet, as you will still need to access the blocks behind them. Tie a length of 0.25mm thread above the octagonal collar on the fore topgallant mast so that it hangs down to about 30mm below the chainwhales. Bind 4mm dead eyes to both ends of the thread and make them fast to the last dead eye on the chainwhale of each side. This completes the foremast backstays. The main mast backstays are identical to those fitted to the foremast. The shifting backstay runs the next to the last block on the main chainwhale. The royal backstay goes to the similar aft chainwhale with the block removed. The aft standing backstay and topgallant standing backstay are also fitted to the small aft chainwhale. The Mizen has fewer backstays than other masts, but the rigging techniques are very similar. Carefully follow the steps on page 585 of your instructions. Fitting the last centre line stays. The remaining stays run down the centre line of the ship and are labelled from R to W on the main photograph on the opening pages of this stage on your instructions. Reattach the main top gallant mast stay to the main top gallant mast. Tie some 0.25mm black thread to the foremast above the octagonal collar. Tie the other end to the very top of the main mast. Reattach the mizzen top gallant stay. Again, the tension needs to be enough to support the weight of the sail. Tie some 0.25mm black thread to the main topmast, then tie to the other end of the stay to the very top of the mizzen. Tie a 1.1mm length of 0.25mm natural thread to the end of the jib boom. Feed the thread up through the bracket of the foremast and down through the foremast top between the cross tree arms. Get the thread down to the pin route and secure it to the third belaying pin from the port, which is the left side. Tie a 125cm length of 0.25mm natural thread to the end of the flying jib boom. Then feed the end of the thread through the lower hole above the octagonal collar on the foremast. Then feed the thread down through the foretop. Secure the thread to the fourth belaying pin from the starboard.